One of the great things about meditation is that the practice doesn't involve any abnormal interference with the healthy, outgoing life of the mind. Our practical affairs will actually be handled with better focus and efficiency. In fact, traditional meditation practice is never offered as an alternative to participation in the world, but as something that can be easily integrated into that life. This daily support will add to our stamina, clarity of thought, fellow feeling, and understanding. These qualities are all based on the deeper values that are encouraged in meditation and go hand in hand with the practice. What about the claims on our time that meditation makes? For lack of time is probably the foremost reason for not getting launched with the practice. But when we look into this question of timing, we find the so-called demands are moderate and well within the capacity of anyone who wishes to learn how to develop the practice. Most people, if they want to follow something seriously, can manage 20 minutes or say half an hour a day. And in the case of meditation, this period is adequate. Once we do meditate regularly, we will find the practice is not just a way to peace of mind. Our understanding of the mind and its powers will be significantly deepened. For under the light of meditation, we begin to see that many of the mental habits that we regard as normal are extremely limiting. What do we mean by this? Now let's take an example. Suppose someone says something to us which may be a little critical. This is a situation that can arise in any context where we are in contact with other people, professional, domestic, and so on. I think we all know how our mind can easily get into a state of disturbance out of all proportion to the event that caused it. Not only might this disturbance go on for a very long time, it can also influence all our future dealings, staying in our memory and easily evoked by the law of association. If this kind of mental state is normal, nobody can say that it is ideal. Another so-called normal trend of our mind is its uneasiness when left alone, without some form of distraction or occupation. It is surely rather strange that such a many-sided faculty as the mind should feel uncomfortable with these alone situations. In fact, once we really think about it, there are many psychological states which are part of our everyday experience, like worry and anxiety, which may be called normal, but can hardly be said to be pleasing. Have we really no power to modify and improve our state of mind when it is subject to these influences? Now, meditation, on one level, gives us the possibility of rectifying this so-called normality, for it endows us with the inner strength and alertness to keep our mind balanced, cheerful, and able to see things in their true perspective. We will learn how to use our mental time creatively and positively, freeing us from inner disturbances. we'll be able to turn easily to other thoughts. And above all, meditation discloses to us, within us, great inner resources, which are intimately connected with that elusive goal we are all seeking, happiness. For happiness, thus conceived, is not viewed as something artificial and abnormal that has to be especially acquired or added to our character. The meditator learns and realizes that happiness is the true nature of our inner being right now and has to be uncovered rather than created. And what is it that covers the innate happiness or bliss of what in the non-dual teachings is identified as our true self? It is precisely our habitual acceptance of the so-called normal activities of our mind, which more often than not keep us out of touch with the greatness and value of our innermost being. So if we think it is a strange thing to have more control and power over our thoughts, meditation is indeed something strange. If we think it is eccentric to seek and find in our own being resources of courage, happiness, peace, and true understanding, then meditation is eccentric. But those who meditate regularly are not specially aware they are doing anything unusual. Rather, they feel involved in the most wholesome venture and supreme possibility, for it leads to the uncovering, or if you like, the recovery of true normality. So we think of meditation as the attempt to reveal the very highest in our own being. This is equated with the principle we call our true self. It means our I, free from the self-images we have accumulated in life, ideas of self which fall far short of the greatness of the final truth of what we are in reality. We realize that nothing worthwhile is the work of a day. Even when we meditate every day, the force of habit exercises a strong influence in our mind. Yet, friends, each meditation session helps the development of new conscious habits of monitoring and guiding our own thoughts. The practice also implants the wise habit of seeking happiness and fulfillment where it is truly to be found, within our own being. As we have suggested, meditation itself is approached with moderation. Short daily sessions of about 20 minutes to half an hour are preferable and more rewarding than weekend retreats with little or no meditation in between. So let's now look at the set of practices we can take up and do every day, which will prove to be transformative and helpful if we can manage to integrate them into our daily routines. Each practice points to the supreme potentiality that lies deep within us. This potentiality will awaken in our own experience as we go on. At these sessions, We prepare our mind gradually. We devote the first minutes to a short sit in reverence and calmness, thus preparing our mind to receive the best from our own being. And we then perform a simple breathing practice, simple, yet always a challenge to our power of concentration. And after that, we spend about 5 minutes doing a visualization practice, which on this occasion will be to picture inwardly the blue sky as a symbol of the infinite. And finally, we meditate on a text that points to universal truth and our own fundamental identity with that truth. We end our session in a way similar to how we began it, and this time sending out thoughts of peace and upliftment for the good of all. Having devoted this special time to meditation, we are ready to meet the day, to play our role in the world, and to respond wisely to whatever comes. So let us now sit for a minute or two in serenity and reverence for these teachings, and also reverence for our own deeper infinite nature, awaiting discovery as our true self. Now we are going to do a breathing practice, and I'll describe the practice and then say a few words about it. Be consciously aware of your breath. You breathe slowly and a little more deeply than usual. As you breathe in this way, say to yourself, I am free. I am free refers to the innate freedom of our true self, which in essence is totally free from all the psychological restrictions we talked about earlier. This self, in fact, is one alone, beyond the divisions between people, nations, religions, and so on. It is in this sense that we say to ourselves, I am free. And we do this breathing practice for about 4 to 5 minutes. Be consciously aware of your breath. Breathe slowly and a little more deeply than usual. And as you breathe in this way, say to yourself, I am free. Om. conscious breathing. I am free. Long, deep breaths. Free. Now we're going to do a visualization practice, and it is this. Picture a blue cloudless sky extending boundlessly in all directions. Clear blueness enveloping all. When thoughts arise, see them dissolving and vanishing in the infinite sky. Let your mind be at one with this vastness, and let any other mental phenomena dissolve in that infinite blue sky. So let us do the visualization together now for about 5 minutes. Picture a blue cloudless sky extending boundlessly in all directions. Clear blueness enveloping all. When thoughts arise, see them dissolving and vanishing in the infinite blue sky. Om. vast, infinite, boundless. Everything dissolves and vanishes in the infinite blue sky. Bring your mind back to the blue sky, clear blueness enveloping all. Now we're going to meditate on a text. Om. The universal consciousness is in me, and I am that. Peace, light, and wisdom have their source in me. The text is an indication of the true nature of the self, underlying all beings, underlying the whole world appearance, one universal, pure consciousness. Being one in all, its outer expression can only be indicated by words such as peace, light, and the higher wisdom of enlightenment. To live in this light is the true normality, and those who meditate try to conform to this spirit of universality. So say the text calmly to yourself. Let it be established in your mind as a deep and beautiful thought. A thought that has the power to transform your inner atmosphere and fill it with wisdom, peace, and light. So let us meditate together now for about 5 to 6 minutes. The universal consciousness is in me, and I am that. Peace, light, and wisdom have their source in me. Om. The universal consciousness is in me, and I am that. peace, light, and wisdom have their source in me. Before ending our meditations, let us sit for a minute or two, sending out thoughts of peace and goodwill to all without exception. Friends, to help us retain the special atmosphere of mind created by meditation, you might appreciate the following short saying. Rise in tranquility, walk in peace, stay in harmony. Thank you for your attention and participation.